refresh to make sure. Come on now, YouTube, don't you futz with me. Here we go, receiving content. Alright, we are live. Excellent. Alright, hello everyone. Happy Friday. This is Venom with WHL Entertainment, and welcome to the Friday Night Chill Stream. This is where we go over some of the gaming news highlights for the week and kind of chill out instead of doing other regular streaming things, so I can kind of enjoy my Friday nights. Alright, today is going to be fairly quick. There wasn't anything super crazy as far as gaming goes. The biggest things were, of course, Anthem and Apex, the double A's of gaming, as it were, right at the moment. Of course, Anthem is, well, I don't even know how to describe it at this point except for a dumpster fire. But apparently there's been another bug that's been discovered. I'm not so sure that it's a bug versus really balancing issues, and I kind of go over what I'm talking about here soon, but let me go to this article from Forbes real quick. This is written by Dave Thier. I think I'm saying that right, T-H-I-E-R, Thier. And it's entitled Bug. Anthem's level 1 rifle is the strongest weapon in the game, and damage numbers are meaningless. Okay, I'm just going to jump right in here and kind of give my thoughts as we go, because I got thoughts about this. But the article goes, the hits keep coming, at least where Anthem is concerned. Just days after a bug was apparently crashing both Xbox Ones and PS4s, which I went over last week, I believe. If not, for those who don't know, Anthem is a game that released from EA. It's supposed to be, it's essentially a Destiny clone with less content than even Destiny 2 had, which is saying something because Destiny 2 didn't have much content at all when it came out. But yeah, the game has not been selling well. Apparently it only sold about half of what Mass Effect Andromeda sold. I think they say 10% of what Destiny sold. That's either insanely low numbers for such a big budget game that took so long to come out. But apparently, yeah, last week, apparently the game was crashing and was potentially breaking PlayStation 4s. The crash was done in such a way that it would actually make the system shut off, and PS4s, if they're shut off improperly, can seriously damage the system. Now, from what I've understood, and this is kind of an update to this, there have been people in the community have found fixes for this. I don't know what all the fixes are yet, but apparently the crashes themselves are fairly common, but the crash all the way to black screen, the PlayStation turning off, was fairly rare, and the bricking was even rarer, but it still would brick them. But again, apparently there has been an update to that. People have found ways to fix it. However, still unacceptable. It kind of brings, it's kind of funny, it was an article the other day that I was reading, I can't remember where from, but it was another article of why console gaming is better than PC games, and one of the reasons they give is that console games just work after running crashes, and then you see something like this directly after. I thought it was funny, but now let's get back in here. Back in this again. Just days after a bug was apparently crashing both Xbox Ones and PS4s, a new bug seems to be showing up that isn't quite so dramatic, but is a whole lot sillier. It appears that a scaling bug seems to be invalidating essentially the entire progression system, leveling out starter weapons with in-game beasts. The numbers go up, but it doesn't appear to actually affect how much damage is being done to a given enemy. It's not a great look. People first became aware of this bug due to a lengthy Reddit post that ran an experiment with two weapons. On one hand, we had the 45 Masterwork Rosnir's Blaze Assault Rifle, an in-game weapon. On the other hand, we had the Defender Rifle, a level 1 piece given to the player at the beginning of the game. So basically, they compared the damage numbers to an in-game top-tier rifle to the starter rifle that you get when you begin the game. Okay? Now, Poster, okay, this is his actual username on Reddit. Poster Yeet Lord Supreme ran an experiment where they fired. First off, before I continue, can I say how awesome it is that people, when they're writing articles, have to put whatever silly Reddit name there is if they're listing source. You can, actual news, and we've got sources like Yeet Lord Supreme. I'm not sure if I died a little bit more on the inside or if I'm elated, but continue on. Poster Yeet Lord Supreme ran an experiment where they fired the guns at identical enemies. As you might expect, the level 45 weapon did more damage, causing the damage number 1184 to pop up after one shot. The level 1 weapon, on the other hand, caused the number 286 to appear. So the top tier weapon is showing over 1,000 damage, and the lower weapon is doing less than 300. That's the number that's being shown on screen. Now, for those that have played, any kind of game like this, you might notice that occasionally some games, not all, will show how much damage pop up when you damage enemies. I don't think Destiny did. I'm pretty sure it didn't actually, but some games like Anthem apparently does. Same for MMOs. Some MMOs show how much damage you're actually doing to enemies, versus just seeing the bar go down and actually show you your damage numbers. Now, here's the problem. The level 45 did not kill the enemy 4 times faster. The level 45 weapon was showing 4 times as much damage on the screen compared to the level 1 rifle. But it wasn't killing the enemy 4 times faster. It killed the enemy, and this is back in the article, it killed the enemy in 4 bullets, just like the level 1 weapon. The damage numbers apparently were meaningless, and both weapons were actually doing the same amount of real damage. This theoretically invalidates the entire in-game gear grind. So basically, even though the in-game weapon was showing to do more damage as far as the numbers that went across the screen, that's not what's actually taking place behind the scenes when these enemies are being damaged. So they were essentially doing the same damage. Now, before we even go further in, this game is essentially a Destiny clone, and this immediately reminds me of the issue with Destiny 2, where it turned out that experience was getting nerfed behind the scenes. On the screen, it would show how much experience we got. It should be, say you do an objective or something, you get 1,000 experience, but you weren't actually getting that much experience if you were grinding. You got less and less experience the more you played. Even though on the screen it showed you one thing, what was actually happening behind the scenes was another. That's actually scary, because this is the second time we've seen something like this happen in a AAA game. Again, Destiny experience issue where the creators were saying this wasn't supposed to happen. Of course, it was bullshit. They were just doing it so that you leveled up less often and you basically had to buy more loot boxes. And here in Anthem, it's the same thing essentially, except with damage numbers. The level 1 weapon is doing as much damage as the level 45 weapon does, the in-game weapon does. It's saying that it's doing less, it's saying that the level 45 weapon's doing more, but in actuality, they're killing enemies at essentially at the same speed. So, continuing on, it says BioWare's global community-led responded. BioWare's global community-led responded. That does community. Oh, lead. I'm dumb. Sorry, this is Friday night. My brain is fried from the week. BioWare's community lead responded to the concerns on Reddit, confirming the bug. Hey everyone, thanks for the feedback on this. I have confirmed with the team that this is in fact a bug related specifically to the default items on a loadout in combination with higher level gear you have equipped. It's not functioning as intended, and there's that line again that we always hear when we find out about these things. It's not functioning as intended, and the team is working on it for an upcoming fix. So by that account, this is a specific bug relating to equipping the default weapon in an in-game loadout, and not some sort of pervasive effect that impacts every item in the game. A level 45 gun would still theoretically be more powerful than a level 40 gun. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish this article. There's a whole lot going on here, really. The first is that there is a bug, and the bug will be fixed. On its own, this is just the business of running a game, though this one does seem to have a lot of bugs. Not only does it have a lot of bugs, it's got no content. And they're banning people for doing basic things you do in games like grinding, for example, but more on that later. The other thing is that the new progression fantasy in this game is not great. The game gives you new stuff for a little bit, but at a certain point the progression mostly defaults to making numbers go up. The guns and abilities mostly look the same, and there's no level tiered armor to make your Javelin into a sleeker badass at max level than it does at the start. Level tied armor. Okay, I didn't know there was no level tied armor. Hopefully this bug will be fixed soon. Until then, it seems like the starting kit might just be the most powerful weapons in the game. So in actuality, it sounds like they're not more powerful. It sounds like they are of equal power. And it sounds like it only works that way with a certain loadout. So it doesn't sound like if you just keep the level 1 stuff equipped at all times, you're going to be just as powerful. I guess it's a specific instance. But again, I'm more concerned about what is being shown on the screen. And again, something we saw in Destiny 2, and it's making me wonder how many other games are having this issue, or how many other games are kind of pulling one over on us. we see one thing on the screen, we think we're making progress in either damage or experience, but in actuality, that's not what's actually being done inside the game. We think we're doing a ton of damage to an enemy, when in fact, the damage numbers are meaningless. It actually makes me wonder about all these big budget games, all these AAA games. Again, let's go back to Destiny 2, for example. Your light level determined, how strong you were, how much defense you had, how much damage your weapons did. And the higher your light level, the more damage you would do. Well, it kind of makes me wonder now if that's actually what's going on in all these games, or what we're seeing on the screen actually reflective of what's happening behind the scenes. Are we getting as much experience as they say? Are our weapons doing as much damage as they say once they get to higher levels? Or is it just, are they just showing us those higher numbers just to make us feel good? Because for these types of games, making those numbers grow is essentially what you're doing. You want to do more damage, you're just trying to make your numbers bigger, that's all. So that's actually really concerning for these games, and this could be, it's a bug, but it makes me wonder if it's a bug in the sense that this wasn't intended to happen, or we weren't intended to know about it. So that's a huge difference there. So in Destiny's case, I don't think we were supposed to know our experience was getting nerfed. I think if they had programmed it correctly to begin with, that it would actually show us experience when we got it, people probably wouldn't have noticed, and probably wouldn't have cared as much. It wouldn't have blown into the big controversy it was. But the fact is that what we were getting wasn't actually matching what was on the screen. Same case here. We're seeing weapons that are supposedly, dealing more damage, and then we're comparing those to weapons that should do less. On screen, the numbers we're getting completely different, but again, they're actually doing the same amount of damage. So yeah, that's something to kind of think about. I might do a little bit more research into this later on and kind of see if there's any other instances of this in games, especially AAA games, but we'll see. But again, just more Anthem not really news, just glitches at this point. But we got another article about Apex Legends, some of the updates for it that just dropped, and some rumors apparently about a battle pass. But before we even get into that, because I'm going to compare these two games, I'm just astounded, and it's not just me. It's been talked about for a long time with bigger YouTubers and other YouTubers in general. Just how astounding AAA gaming is right now. These big companies, EA and Bethesda, notably, as of right now, they're spending millions of dollars. I think someone said billions for Anthem, but I think that was just hyperbolic. I know at one point they said Destiny's total budget, including marketing, I think was probably his biggest chunk, was like $1 billion. I think that was exaggerated a bit, but these are seriously high-budget games, and they are tanking extremely hard. In Fallout 76's case, it looked like a blatant cash grab. The problem is that they couldn't pull it off. The game was buggy as crap, and still is. It's just now getting some real content added into it, and even then, I went over this last week, the first content it's getting is alcohol brewing. For a game devoid of content, the first thing you're going to do is give alcohol brewing, which is essentially making new aid items, to do nothing in the game. You make aid items, and you do the exact same nothing you were doing before. In Anthem's case, they haven't even had time to have any new content added in, and they're still getting hit with issues. First off, people aren't buying the game because bad reviews, people are saying it sucks, there's no content in it. No one wants to buy a game for $60 that's full of microtransactions and grinding, if there's nothing actually in it to grind towards. Yeah, you can try to get, masterwork gear and make your numbers bigger, but that's not really fun. We do that to strive towards something else, to strive towards the next boss, to strive towards being able to do the next mission, or to finish certain objectives that are really hard, and you have to have those super high numbers for. These games are coming out, and they're just terrible. Another game, BioWare, put out, not Bioshock, my mind just tweaked out there. What am I thinking? Damn, my brain just, I just had a brain for it. But, yeah, based on all these big budget games, and it's not all of them either. Red Dead Redemption single player was apparently great. I haven't played it. I'm not usually too into period type games like that. Grand Theft Auto, I'd be more likely to play than Red Dead Redemption, although I'll admit it's a great game. I watch people play it. People are loving it. It's getting rave reviews. Awesome game. The online portion of it, however, is riddled with bugs, and people don't like it. It is a blatant microtransaction cash grab. Now, I've followed that fairly closely, and just looking at it, between the bugs and, again, Grand Theft Auto 5 Online or Grand Theft Auto Online had issues when it first came out, got patched out pretty quick, but again, it was also a money grab. I'm not saying that it wasn't fun, but it was a money grab, and it's, I think, the highest, I forgot the exact wordage of it was, but I think it was like the highest grossing entertainment product or something in history. It was something crazy, but it's made tons of money just from the online alone. I mean, the actual initial game sales were crazy as it is. The money they made through microtransactions has been insane. Yeah, it's just, I'm just constantly astounded by how these AAA game companies can spend so much money but be so clueless about their games, especially Anthem, which from the beginning sounded awesome, but you just knew they were going to fuck it up. I mean, when all you hear about the game or see about the game are the visuals of it, you don't hear anything about the story. You don't hear anything about what you can actually do in the game besides, you know, run and gun, and that's it. When all you see are the visuals and all you hear about are, you know, outstanding visuals, or you can go here and you can look at this, or you can look at that and look what this looks like, that's a red flag right there. If all you know about the games are what things look like, you don't know anything about the story, then there's an issue. But in comparison, we have Apex Legends, which I believe has passed 50 million players at this point. But we got an article here from CNet. I'm going to go ahead and read this. This one's by Jason Parker. It came out today, and it's Apex Legends Battle Pass rumors. Everything you need to know. Big update is coming to Apex Legends this month, and rumors hint at a new Battle Pass, new weapons, new legends, and more. Excited about this. Not the Battle Pass portion, but the Legends portion, but we'll get into this. Article goes, Apex Legends, the wildly popular Battle Royale game from Respawn Entertainment, has only been out for a month, but it's already surpassed 50 million players. Keep in mind that this thing had passed 25 million, I think, after 3 days. And I think it took Fortnite a week or two to do that. So they coming out the gate for little to no advertising about this, and the game came out, I think, 3 or 4 days after they advertised it the first time. It is doing gangbusters. But getting back in here, and 50 million players. Okay, starting a sentence with "and" is that. Come on, English people, you should know how to do this better. You do this professionally. And all those players will have. I'm sorry, I can't get over this. Starting a sentence with "and" was like one of the biggest no-nos to ever do in high school. And okay, sorry, I'm recentered. I'm good. And all of those players will soon have some new additions to play with, as Respawn has already announced that its first season is coming this month. Now, this kind of worries me. Now, I've never played Battle Royale games before Apex, and I really kind of stopped playing first-person shooters online quite a bit before things like Battle Passes came out. So, I'm not too familiar with Battle Passes myself. From what I understand, and I'll probably know more as I do some research, so I may be wrong, this is my assumption right here, but I'm guessing it's something you have to buy. If it's something you got to buy, we're going to have a real issue, because I'm not sinking a ton of money into this game. But again, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how battle passes work. I'm not going to make any assumptions quite yet, but I'll look into more of these battle passes here later on to see exactly what that means. But Respawn hasn't mentioned a specific release date, but what exactly will we be getting and when? That's anyone's guess, but the company recently released an Apex Legends balance update suggesting we're in for some bigger changes. They did actually nerf a couple weapons a little bit. I believe the Peacekeeper, I think the rechamber got slowed down, and I know the Wingman I think the fire rate got slowed down from like 3 point something rounds per second. Basically, it's 2 rounds per second versus 3 rounds per second. So both weapons are slower from what I understand, which will help because honestly, the Wingman is pretty damn. If you're really good skilled, the Wingman is extremely strong. The Peacekeeper, I swear, every single battle I get into where it's like the top 3 squads left, it is just, matter of fact, almost every battle period is just a shotgun melee, and that's honestly really boring. I'd say that's one thing I don't like about Apex. I mean, I'm fine getting killed, 2 seconds out the gate, but when every major firefight I see is just people bunny hopping and crouching and shotgunning around, then that is boring to me, but I guess it's the nature of the beast. But there we go. There we go. There have also been various leaks on Twitter and Reddit that offer more specifics than Respawn has given us. Here's what we've heard so far about what's coming to the game when the Battle Pass drops and beyond. So these are rumors right now. Nothing is definitive, but we'll see. When does Season 1 start? There's no official date as of yet, but one anonymous leaker who claims to have a Respawn-connected roommate told Daily Esports it would drop on Tuesday, March 12th. That's next week. There's no way to verify his claims, but it would benefit Respawn to launch a Battle Pass sooner rather than later. That's true. The Battle Pass will likely be a lot like Fortnite's. The way Respawn describes the Battle Pass on Apex Legends site lays it out. Complete every season to unlock new legends, fresh weapons, themed loot, and more. Okay, unlock new legends. Now, right now, earning the legends in Apex is a grind. I think the two that were locked took 12,000 credits to unlock. I think you didn't have enough to unlock the first legend till level 25. I gotta double check. So level 50 is when you have enough to unlock both of them. So that's a lot of playing. But we'll continue on. Keep in mind, if you win, you get more points, so you level up quicker. So if you're just dying quickly, you're not going to level up as fast. But basically, you need to play to unlock items. So the Battle Pass could use a tiered system similar to Fortnite's. It also says both weapons and new legends will be unlockable using the same system. So that means the Havoc, released February 20th, may be the last weapon to be randomly released in the game. It also means you may not have to fork over real money or in-game currency for every new legend, like we did with Caustic and Mirage. You'll be able to unlock at least some of them. Okay, so that kind of tells me that the Battle Pass is given out, and you just kind of earn them by playing. I don't know still. We'll see. Alright, which legends will we see first? We know... Okay, hold on. I see... Okay, Octane. We know from Respawn's roadmap that we'll at least see one new playable legend once the Battle Pass drops, but whether they're included outright or will need to be purchased or earned remains a mystery. There's been no official word on who we might get, but over on Reddit there have been rampant rumors about a legend named Octane. And here's a picture right here of this thing. Just Octane. He's got 3 special abilities here. Looks fairly legit. It looks like he might be cybernetic. Alright, child's play. Okay, that looks a little bit weird. But it looks fairly legit. See, it's got his passive is Swift Command. While not taking damage, Octane restores health over time. Okay, that's pretty OP. Depending on how fast it is. Tactical for his tactical ability. Adrenaline Junkie. Move 30% faster for 6 seconds. Cost 10% health. Immune to slows while active. Okay, so that kind of plays into his passive, so he can use health to make himself faster. Okay. And the ultimate launch pad, deployable jump pad that catapults users through the air. Okay, so that could actually, looks like it could be used offensively and defensively, so that would be kind of cool. So, a self-healing guy who can spend health points to move faster and who can drop a launch pad. That's not bad. So I don't really got much of a picture on him. I mean, it kind of looks like a cybernetic guy, or that could be a mask on, kind of like Caustic's. Looks like it might be a mask. He could be a robot too. I can't quite tell from the pictures, but it looks pretty cool. Now, continuing on, it says list of 8 new legend names. Just like how Fortnite challenges often leak early, there are people combing through the code of Apex Legends to see what might be coming in the future. One Redditor managed to get a list of legends that includes the ones we already have, Octane, and a bunch of other possible legends. So here we got a... Okay, so... Looks like the ones listed on here are Wraith, one we already got. Watson, that'd be a new one. Template, I can't tell if that's a name or it literally is supposed to be a template. Schooner, that'd be a new one. Rosie, that'd be a new one. Rampart would be a new one. Prophet would be a new one. Octane would be a new one. Nomad would be a new one. And we got Mirage, Lifeline, Jericho. Why does that sound... That should be one we got already. Is that a new one? Jericho, Husaria. That one's different. Gibraltar, Crypto. Okay, yeah, there's more than 8 on this list. Unless the... You know what, I bet the names don't match what they are in-game, so that would make sense. Because right now we've got 8 to choose from. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. plus a new one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's actually 11 new ones. I don't know how they got 8 out of this, but that'd be 11 new legends. Alright, so yeah, just heads up there, Jason Parker, that there's 11 listed on here. So just so you know, if you for some reason ever see this video. Let's see, is Apex Legends getting a vehicle? It's hard to say if this one is real, but Twitter user at Apex Game Info says we might get a hover bike based on a few lines of uncovered code. Okay, so there's a hover bike reference in this code. There we go. And what about solo and duo game modes? This was rumored earlier. One thing that set Apex Legends apart from the rest of the Battle Royale games was a requirement to play in 3-person squads. That is a requirement. I know in Fortnite and I think PUBG you have the option of playing in squads, but in Apex you have to play in 3-person squads. The only way to play in a squad that's smaller is if the people with you leave. Now, since launch, many players have been clamoring for more game modes. The same Twitter user at Apex Game Info found some code related to that as well. Okay, so right now it's basically data miners searching the game or the game's code to see what all we might have incoming. Quite often, whenever we're getting or we'll get new stuff, there's already references to that code or those updates in updates leading up to when it's released. They got to actually build the infrastructure. I don't know how to say it exactly what the actual terminology is, but they basically have to make sure they got the infrastructure in beforehand to actually fit in what they're going to be releasing. So I don't know how to say it properly, but that's essentially how it goes. And then the waiting game continues. Obviously, there are some pretty interesting rumors floating around, but we won't know for sure about any of them until Apex Legends Season 1 officially starts. Watch this page for updates and get all the info here once you know more details. So that was from CNet. So that is some Apex Legends news. So that is my news segment for the week. Like I said, fairly slow as far as general gaming news. I know there was some stuff with Death Stranding. I guess the game is a little bit behind schedule, but apparently the story is already completed. So the game itself is behind schedule for Death Stranding, but the story is already done, which is good. It's not like it's a single-player game. You want to make sure you got that solid story in first. And yeah, I mean, it could just be technical issues setting them back. I didn't read too much into it, but it's a game I'm kind of watching, but not super interested in. I've heard a ton about it, but I still don't know what the game's about, so I don't know why I should be excited about it yet, but that's just me. Other news from the channel, I will be probably streaming tomorrow. I actually work tomorrow, but I'll probably try to stream later on. I do got more Apex clips. I am trying to get in there and get some more clips for you guys and do some more streams. I'm sorry, I felt kind of shitty the last couple of days, so I did not stream. I meant to. Just did not feel too good. So I will try to rectify that. I will be bringing back Apex next week, so don't you worry. I'm also playing Empyrean with Jami and the Tribe of Mini, so I'm actually going to be playing some of that tonight. I might stream, we'll see. I got to be in bed early because I got to be at work in the morning. Earlier than normal, too. But that is that is my news segment for the week. That is our Friday night chill stream. So if you guys got any stories you want me to cover, let me know. Join our Discord down below. I've also got the Tribe of Minis mini links below as well as links to today's sources from Forbes and CNet. Don't forget to check out Jami, Skippy, Christina Rosebud, LJ, and Clueless Gamer. All their links are listed below in the description. Thank you all for coming by, and I will see you, if not this weekend, then definitely on Monday. Later.